Have you ever stopped to think about the fans behind a band? What is it about the music that keeps fans coming back for more? Or is there more? My name is Renae Lipsmeyer, and I am the host of this podcast, The Space Between Podcast, the podcast where we talk about the fans of the Dave Matthews Band. Each week, a fellow DMB fan joins the show to discuss their journey with the band. Welcome to the Space Between Podcast. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Space Between Podcast. We are so glad that you have joined us on this 207th episode of the Space Between Podcast. I am so excited that so many people have come forward to share their fanhood with this band that has been playing music for us for 35 years. Whether you've just found them or whether you've been with them all the way, there's never a bad time to find the band that we're going to talk about, which is Dave Matthews Band. They are on the road right now, and we've all been at least the people I've spoke with have been so happy of how this tour is going. We're getting a lot of things that are not played often, and so we're always excited about a deep track resurfacing. So like every episode that I have a guest on the show, but I'm not going to talk about him right now. I'm going to make him sit just a little bit longer because he's made me wait for this interview. And so I'm going to not let him talk for just a little bit. He's going to sit here and watch me. So if you follow the show regularly, you know that it's been since May 16th since I've dropped an episode. Thank you for your patience. I'm just getting into tour season and a lot of things with just personal life. Things keep you busy. So it's been really hard to record. But goodness, do I have a backstock now. So they will be coming out every week through tour season. So hopefully that gives you something to look for. If you would like to hear your voice and share your Dave journey, which some people say, I don't have a Dave story. I don't have anything interesting enough to be on the show. I always meet them with the saying, hey, everybody that loves this music has a story. It doesn't have to be a long story. It doesn't have to be an hour-long episode. We can talk about it for 10 minutes, but documenting why this music made you listen again or fall in love with what you heard, that's the story. And so everyone has one. They're all different. And that is exactly what this podcast does, is record all of the different people and all of the different reasons why we continue to listen to a band, again, that's 35 years old and still going strong. Again, the tour season is epic this year, and I know that I cannot wait to get back on the road to see them again this tour. So I guess it's been long enough. I guess I will get into the discussion that we're going to have here. I like to remember to tell people that I don't do interviews. That's not what I'm doing. I am simply sitting down with someone, which this episode, if you're watching this on YouTube, you're going to see someone sitting right next to me, which is something that never happens on the Space Between podcast. I always do my discussions with people online, and it's recorded, and that's what you see on YouTube. You can see our faces side by side and watch as the show unrolls. But I have a friend with me today, friend first, Dave friend second, who lives not too far from us, and he is going to share the reason why he loves this band. I'm so excited. So he is here at our home. He's been such a good friend to the family, one that we've just really invited into our personal life and introduced our children to, and our new puppy. And we love having him so close to us. We don't have a lot of Dave people that live really close to us that I know about. If you don't know, I live in the state of Arkansas in the northwest part. So it's a very city. It's a busy city where I live, but not a lot of Dave fans that I know of. And so Randy's really close. He's about, how far is it to your house?
At my pace, about 4 hours.
He drives really fast. So 4 hours, Southern Oklahoma. We'll let him talk more about that. But this is a different setting. I'm usually sitting right back in the corner on my pink couch, talking with someone online. So it's exciting to have someone here that we get to like have an in-person exchange about something that we both love so much. So let me let you introduce yourself. Tell us, who are you, first of all? Where do you live? Where are you from? And tell us something about you that's non-Dave Matthews Band related.
So my name is Randy Weston, and I live in southeastern Oklahoma, a couple hours out of Dallas, so 3 or 4 hours up to Renae. And we met in Omaha
Yes.
in 22.
Yes.
And we quickly became friends and then family. And it's been a wonderful journey. What do I like outside of Dave Matthews? Well, age in life, not a lot. I'm a foodie.
Yeah.
I enjoy various types of food and fine dining.
Yeah.
I like travel, road tripping, and so I've met some wonderful people in this family, and it's great.
Yeah, no, it's so great. It's one of my favorite things to do. And so that's how Randy and I met. Of course, Omaha 2022. And let's go back to that story, because that was not the beginning of your Dave journey, but and I don't want to talk about that right now. We're going to get to that. So guys that are listening or watching, hold on. Randy's going to tell us where in the world he heard of this music that we all love. Okay, so we were in Omaha going to see Dave. There must have been a fan get together in the hotel lobby, because I remember that year it was freezing. And I don't think I'm being a baby by saying that. I think it was really, really cold. And so we kind of hunkered down in the hotel lobby. I mean, there was probably 100, 200 people in the lobby.
Yeah, there was there was a night.
Oh, there may have been.
It was at a little pub or something that we all got together and had a gathering.
Okay.
And I was traveling with a couple of other bands that I had actually met in Denver previously, and that will come up later. And we popped in there, and I'm really just kind of an introvert.
Yeah.
And so I fell in a little corner there, and this lovely lady and a couple of other people from her community were sitting there, and they kind of took me in. It was a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
And that's where I first heard about the Space Between podcast.
Well, and it's funny. I can't even believe that I told you about that, because at that point, that was what month was that? October. Okay. Yes. October of 22, which I didn't officially start rolling out episodes until the end of November of 22. There was a test episode in November, and then the first the first real podcast that I sat down and did with other people, or a lot of other people, was December. And so it's been rolling since then. It's funny that I was talking about that, but I remember telling people, I don't remember telling you, but I do remember telling someone else that it was quickly approaching and that I was doing it and that I was working on how to do it and all of those things, because starting a podcast was not something that I knew how to do. I had to read a lot and learn a lot to do it, but I did it. And so we've been going strong since November 22. I say we, but that's like me and Justin. We do this together. He's behind the scenes. I'm on camera.
And you've done a wonderful job. Well, you had a picture, and I remember a card or something. I took a picture, and I didn't catch on that you were just starting. I thought it was actually already established. And so then when I kind of caught on that you were just starting, it was neat.
Yeah.
And the best I remember, I think I finally got to a point where I obligated first. I'll do this. It's a growth experience. I'll do it. And I think it was going to be number 5 or number 6. And then you had a family incident that caused you a pause. And when you came back with YouTube, and I thought, no.
Yeah.
So here we are now, 202 episodes later, and you finally got me. So
here we go. I know, 207 episodes.
And it's wonderful.
I'm so excited to be all the way to 207, because to me that means, yay, people are coming out to tell their story. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do. That's the whole purpose of this podcast, was to share other people's stories that made them feel the same way or different, or a way that this music has made me feel, but specifically, not only the music, but also the fanhood and the other fans. And it really has resonated with so many people. And they're like, wow, I would love to talk about Dave with you. Because how many times do we in life have someone that will call you and go, hey, I want to talk about nothing but Dave for an hour with you.
Right.
And then I'm going to share that with other people who really want to hear that, because you're not listening to a Dave Matthews Band podcast unless you like Dave Matthews Band, right? Like that usually people run across things and go, I wonder what this is. But Dave fans are what listen, and they're excited to hear all of the stories. And so if this is your first episode, thank you so much for finding this podcast. Thank you for watching episode 207. And I invite you to hop in anywhere along the way from episode 1 to this one. Just pick number 25 or number 125 or whatever, 175. They're all going to be completely different. I'm the host of every one of them, but the guests are always different. And the way that we even do the conversation, if you will, like I like to say, is completely different, because I try to meet the guest where they are, right? And make this something that they're proud of, because do we have 20 more years of fanhood ahead of us? I don't know. My guess would probably be no, just based on ages of all of us, and including the band. So document your story while you can, while the band is still playing, and while we're celebrating 35 years this year. What a great time to just document your story, so that future generations of people that look back and go, I found this band and I think it was a band forever and it did really well, but it was like a grassroots movement as far as like when they started and when they, kept performing. This band is a lot different. So I'm excited that there are 207 episodes. Randy is the 207th. So let's get into it, Randy. So my first question, and this is easy because only you know the answer. When was the very first time that you ever heard of Dave Matthews Band?
I was aware of them when they first began. It was primarily because they didn't get a lot of radio play per se. Mm-hmm. It was VH1 or MTV, certain interviews, things like that. It was a time in my life to where I had moved on from live music performances and doing other things, hot rods, Harleys, things like that, working with my hands. And so music was background. It was playing on the radio in the garage. Mm-hmm. And but there was a very unique sound, and I really enjoyed it. And so I was exposed to it on. Life went on, different things in life, good and bad, and I was just removed from live music. And 4 or 5 years ago, at this time in life, I'm searching for something to do, and we were coming out of COVID, and I spotted an hour from my home in Durant, Oklahoma, Dave Matthews Band was going to play. I'd already discovered them on XM30, on Channel 30, and listening to them constantly. And I thought, I'm going to try that. And then that one didn't work out. They canceled it. I seen they played Rogers, Arkansas, and I thought, why would they play there?
Because it's the best place in Arkansas.
Now we know there are Dave Matthews Band fans everywhere.
And they'll come to Arkansas. It's crazy.
Yes, absolutely. So I started doing research. Started watching YouTube videos, listening to the music again, and the new tour schedule came around, and it was Texas.
Yeah.
I live in Oklahoma, and I love my Texas neighbors to death, but we have this little rivalry.
Yes,
and so anyhow, I thought I can't let my first show be in in all fun and seriousness. But I found a video about the Gorge. This place in Washington, had no idea what it was. And I thought, that looks like a pretty cool place.
Yeah.
And so I researched it and seen it and found out how unique the location was. And I thought, there it is. The old guy, you may not be able to do this very much. So there's a good road trip. You have friends in Central Washington, go see a single show. And so that's what I set out to do.
You were just going to go to one?
I was going to go to one Friday night show.
Okay.
I honestly did not know at my age if I could endure any longer.
Sure. No,
I did start working out. It was 4 or 5 months. I started watching. I also found Couch Tour. And man, what a blessing Couch Tour is.
For those what is Couch Tour?
Couch Tour with other fans. They go to a show and they spend their show holding their telephone, streaming this live stream back to the people at home that aren't fortunate enough to be there that night. And that is so wonderful.
It is so wonderful. We're so thankful.
This says a lot about the Dave Matthews Band community. So anyhow, I endured that until I got to go to the Gorge. And I decided, if you're going to go, you got to figure out how to at least endure all 3 nights. And I did. And it was wonderful. It was great. And I met wonderful people. Some of the most unique little things were just smaller encounters you almost can't even describe. And then you met a few people,
Right. Did you feel nervous going into a show that you didn't know anything about? First is the venue, and then also you didn't know anyone there. What were you thinking?
Well, I'm somewhat of an introvert.
Yeah.
But I'm a retired truck driver, so I'm used to traveling alone. I'm used to going into crowds alone and things like that. And I just went to the mindset, I'm going to go do this just to see if it's fun.
Yeah.
And most of these people, I'll probably never see them again. So what the
Yeah.
What
you
the
can
hell?
say you can say fuck. Yeah.
What
just
the
like
fuck?
that. Fuck.
What the fuck? So little did I know on that part. And we'll get into it. But anyhow, I did the 3 shows and it was wonderful.
What did you like about it?
Well, I was a huge Led Zeppelin fan.
Yeah.
And the very first song they played that night was Fool in the Rain.
The very first on night one?
The very first song that I heard Dave Matthews perform was a Led Zeppelin cover.
Oh, my goodness.
And I know so many don't like the covers. I'm sorry, I do.
Yeah.
I actually wished we had a full night of covers at the Gorge.
Someone mentioned that before. You're not the first one to say that. Just do one of the nights all covers.
And that way you could get them out of the way and then everybody else could be happy for the other 2 nights.
Maybe.
So anyhow, and I did that and the show was great. It was the year of the drone show.
Oh,
so
my
this first experience, it just freaking blew me away.
Oh, my goodness.
And then I seen on my way, I road trip. And so on my way home, I have to go through Denver. And lo and behold, the band was going to Denver that year after the Gorge.
How strange.
Starting the fall tour.
This was 22. Okay.
So I just snatched me a couple of I snatched a ticket and I thought I'll grab one Denver show. And so I get back. I have relatives there. I spent time with them. And, I ended up searching for a night 2 ticket. And I found one. And the person I actually found it with, I wasn't going to do posters. And darn it, they give me a poster.
On your third show.
They actually got the first show there in Denver. And also now I got a wall full of darn posters. So
but they're beautiful,
right?
They are
beautiful.
And you're proud of them.
Art, and yes.
And it's like telling a story when you look at your posters. I know I'm doing this, and if you're watching on YouTube, you can't see the wall, but I have a whole, all the walls are covered in Dave, but the posters tell a story, right? And they remind you of such happy times.
They reminded me. So I thought, this is going to work. Mm-hmm. And so that's when I came home from the Denver show, and at the next show I added was the Omaha show. And that's where I met you.
So, gosh, you were only 4 shows in?
That was 3, 4, 5. The Omaha was about 6
3.
shows.
Okay, 6. Yeah. 6 shows.
So anyhow, and that was Labor Day 22. And I don't actually know where I'm going to finish now, but.
No one does, right?
No, the West Palm Beach show. Night 2 was show 41 for me.
Oh my
goodness.
I
never expected to have this many shows.
How exciting.
Right. And I am having the time of my life.
When you say that out loud, that you've been to 41 Dave Matthews Band concerts, does that sound crazy to you? Just knowing who you are and things you've done in the past, does that seem... How does that make you feel to hear that?
I'm enjoying it, and I hope to make it. I never thought I would get 41. I always thought if I can get to 27 or 34 or 36 or hopefully 41, guy, it'll be good. You'll have had another little
You've reached
late stage run, and I'm still going, and I'm enduring it well, and I'm going to keep rolling.
Yes, and you've got some more planned, but we'll get to that in just a little bit. So you keep going. You go to Omaha and you start meeting people. Is that kind of when you're meeting people the whole time, but is there something that you can sense by the 6th show that like, whoa, this is like a thing. Like the people are, when did you start picking up on all of that?
That actually kind of started in Denver.
Okay.
There were a couple of things that happened. I was primarily alone. The people that I knew in Central Washington attended the first night show with me. And they weren't typical Dave Matthews fan people, I will say. Mm-hmm. They're lovely people. And I thought, y'all don't need to attend. You don't need to be afraid Randy's going to be alone or anything. Randy's going to be okay.
Right.
So they went the first night and they actually had a good time.
Of course.
It was fun. But then the next night, I think one of the next story that I remember from that show was I found a spot in the lawn, a level spot. Went in early and scoped it out, found me a level spot. And there was a young couple that had probably a 5-year-old boy, and they sat down. They sat down and established on the lawn in front of me. And the guy, he got his little list to go take care of things before the show starts, and he heads off. And mom and son, they lay down in front, and the music, the house music, is playing in the background. And the little dude, he was sitting there kind of sleeping, but I noticed he was keeping perfect time, tapping with his finger on mom's knee. And I thought, this is how it starts with people.
Yeah.
And so as the show went on, it's kind of strange, especially an old guy, me approaching people. So as the show went on and the family was gone, my granddaughter had painted some little rocks and put different things on them. And I strategically handed them out to different things. But I passed a rock down to that young man, and I told the parents, I said, there's something for that show. I asked if it was his first show, and this was on night 2. And they said, well, no, he was here last night.
Oh.
So I said, and so it was his first experience. He was about 5 or 6 years old.
Oh, wow.
And that was one of the most warming experience for me of that weekend.
Yeah. Yeah.
And kind of softy about stuff like that.
Well, a lot of people are. I think it's kind of natural.
But on to Denver, I met a couple of people. People that the names are recognized in the community. One person very special to me, Shannon. And she kind of, like she says, she pulled me out of a corner because of the way I was in.
Because you're an introvert, naturally.
And we became friends. And that's actually, she was an acquaintance there at Omaha when I met you and things like that. And so, the first foundations of meeting these people. In Denver, I met Nikki Flynn.
Yeah. Nikki Flynn lives in California. She does a lot in the community in general, but also, on the socials, you'll find her. If you don't know Nikki Flynn, you need to follow Nikki Flynn on socials and meet her at a concert. She's very special, and she loves the band, but she loves the community as well.
She does so much for this family behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And I know the people that know that. I'm not saying anything new, but I will say this, Nikki, if I can do this, you can too.
Yeah, that's right, girl. We want you on the podcast because you have told us your story face to face, but I need that shit recorded because it's too good not to have everyone hear it. Like, it's so good. They're all so good, but that's why everyone needs to be on this show. And we'll talk about how to get on the show here a little later. And there's also some information in the show notes. If you don't know how to find show notes, if you're on YouTube, just click see more right underneath the video that you're watching, and you'll get to read everything. I put it in everything, the email that you need to reach out to. If you're listening to this on a podcast app, just know that you can go to the info about this particular episode or just this podcast in general. And the email to send information to is on there. And I would just be delighted. Like I said, you don't have to have a certain kind of story. If you don't think you have a story, let me tell you if I think you have a story. Because you do. The fact that you even are at a concert or listening to music or fell in love with them 25 years ago, but have never seen them live. Everyone has a story.
Renae, the variety of stories that people have shared on your podcast and how you're able to bring that out in people. And some people express things in different ways. So giving the fan base a platform to openly express some of the things are just personal items that people have talked to you about.
Yes.
And tough things.
Terrible things.
So thank you for being the kind of friend that you are to me. And thank you for what you're doing to the community as a whole.
I'm honored to be here. I mean, what a great transition in my life. Of course, I am a retired nurse. And so what I do my whole life, being, a mom at such a young age and then rolling into nursing for 15 years and then retiring from that, like naturally I was going to fall into something that was going to help people because that's what I do. That's who I am, is how can I help in that situation or how can I, contribute. And so this was a way that really, if you don't know my story, you'll have to go back in time and listen to the podcast that's all about why I started this show. But it has not only been so much fun for everyone else as a place to share their journey when they thought no one else cared or that no one else wanted to listen. It saved me in personal ways too, as a creative outlet, as a way to talk about something I never thought anyone wanted to hear, which was my passion for Dave Matthews Band and how cool their fanhood was. And so it was a win-win. And I'm so excited that people are listening. The podcast has seen such growth, and we've had so many just amazing fans on the show. It's mind-blowing because, again, if you don't know my story, this was never the plan. I mean, it happened organically and beautifully. And I always say I don't necessarily know what I'm doing. They don't teach podcasting in nursing school. So this is all new to me. But that's okay. I wanted to keep it I always say that I wanted it to sound like a party line. And if you don't know what a party line is, a long time ago, I don't even know. How do you describe a party line, Randy? For those of you that never heard of a party line.
It's like a Zoom call with no visual.
Yes. And you didn't sign up for it.
No, it's just the way the phone works.
You were not invited. The phone lines were all connected. And so, only one person could use it at a time. So if you picked up the phone and heard a conversation, you just hung back up. However, there's always been those nosy Nancys and nosy Dons that gotta listen. And so that's their entertainment for the day. Maybe their soap opera, because maybe you picked up the phone and it was talking about, a scandal in town or whatever. That's the vibe that I wanted to bring to this show, was just a very unscripted, unrehearsed conversation about something that we both love. And I think because it's something that we all have a passion for, naturally, when we're telling that story, it comes with like emotions that should never be practiced and should never be faked. So
we all have so much to say.
Yeah.
and the noodles inside our head get shook up pretty good. I don't know about y'all guys, but am I the only one that thinks Dave needs to give us the noodles? If you know, you know. But yeah, one of these times it needs to be the noodles, not the door.
Was it someone that told us that? Now we're talking specifically about what song was it? What song is it?
Walk Around the Moon.
Walk Around the Moon. That's right. And in it, he says,
found a new door inside of my head.
Yeah, I found a new door inside of my head.
And on a couch tour one night a few years ago, I can't remember the details. I don't know who it was. One of the commenters mentioned that her toddler would go, I found a noodle inside of my head.
Because it does sound like that.
And it's taken off like a rocket
ship.
I even got a sticker this year on the Texas 3-step.
Yes.
And I think Dave needs to give it to us in the song.
That's so funny. I mean, if he can give us a manual from the YouTube video that is hilarious, if you haven't seen it. David Emmanuel Matthews. That's not his name. It was just a joke. And if you don't know, you can find that on YouTube for sure.
Yeah, see, I don't know that one.
Oh, no, I'll have to show you
material.
later.
You.
Yeah, it was something he literally just said on stage, within the last 2 weeks or something, is he stood up there and said, I'm David Emmanuel Matthews. That's not his name. And he did it because there's a really awesome YouTube star that has just gotten introduced to him and didn't know his name. And she was like, he was probably talking about something dirty because she was not prepared for listening to Dave Matthews and like, what the hell is this grandpa saying? And she was like, David Emmanuel Matthews, like, your mama would say if she heard you talking about all that stuff. And that's not his name, but it has gotten around and enough times where I guess he's seen it. And now he knows the joke and he joked on stage about it. And I thought that was like, if you didn't know, you didn't know, because you were probably very confused of why he called himself the wrong name. And you probably doubted yourself, like, wait a second, I thought his name was John. David John Matthews, which is the correct name. And so I like that he jokes around with what the fans are doing.
Yeah, you never know Dave speak.
Yeah.
And why we love it so much.
Yeah, we never know what he's going to say.
And that dude's going to say.
That's like a thing that's very attractive. Is like, oh, we got to find out what happens next time or next time. He's like the best storyteller in the world because he keeps you coming back for more. And that's also a line in The Space Between podcast. Keeps you coming back for more. The Space Between. Oh, wait.
It's a good name for a podcast.
Oh, The Space Between?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so too. Okay, so let's go back. Let's talk about the community even more and the music. So we've got 6 shows in. Well, what keeps you going?
That's a tough one to ask me. What keeps me going? Well, it is what keeps me going. Going to the shows is what keeps me going.
I like that. I get it.
It is I don't know. It's kind of a requirement now.
Yeah.
It's whatever people are into. It's my flower gardening, it's my bass fishing, or just whatever. It's just what I do now.
Right.
It combines several things. So many people become like family. It lets me do road trips.
Mm-hmm.
I get to see different parts of the country.
Yeah.
I got to go to Woodstock.
Yes.
That's another one of the highlights in this journey from when I was a junior high, 8th grade or 9th grade when Woodstock happened. Now that I really date myself, I always wanted to visit that historic site.
Yeah.
Whether it was at a show or just to visit as a tourist. And I was fortunate enough last Memorial Day to visit that place. And now that we
For the first time?
First time.
Okay.
And actually experience the Dave show on the grounds of Woodstock and camp out in the same area that Woodstock, the camping ground, was. It was cold. It was windy. It rained. And other than the coldy, windy, I thought it rained at Woodstock. It's good enough for me raining here.
Yes.
And I was, as I move forward in my journey, it gives me the opportunity. I was hosted by a very special couple that I met back in 23 when I made the journey to SPAC and this wonderful little venue called Guilford that we're not supposed to talk about. But anyhow,
because it's so awesome.
But I met them at Lee's Campground and they just pulled up and we just had an immediate connection. So we stayed in touch. They became like family, much in the same way you and Justin are to me now.
Yeah.
And so I was fortunate to go back last year. They hosted me in their home and we went to Bethel and experienced the show and camped out. And then we hung around and went to Syracuse. I think it was one of the other shows in their neighborhood of New York.
Mm-hmm.
And it was such a wonderful, wonderful time. And there's more people, you're going to go to these people. You're not going to meet anybody you didn't, Well, that didn't work out. And I've met some of the most special people in my entire life.
Wow.
And I don't know now what I would do without them.
Right.
And that's not something that I expected in starting this. It was just to go, something to do that travel solo, listen to good music, hop in the car and go on to the next thing.
Yeah.
And it was something I found that worked well.
Maybe it found you at the perfect time.
Exactly. This stage in my life, as my daughter mentioned, it's good for me this stage in my life.
Yeah.
And as this season has started, which the Texas two-step, me and I picked on my Texas neighbors a little earlier. The 3 shows in Texas this year have been the highlight so far. It's a little still early in the season and all, but those 3 shows were wonderful.
What made them stick out?
Well, I don't know. I actually kind of thought they were a little too good for Texas shows.
Oh!
But I don't know. It was the people. They were unique set lists. There were very few repeats, which is not, sometimes the first 3 shows, they get a few. In fact, 3 shows, 60 songs, 56 songs, 4 repeats. The 4 repeats had the fiddle. The first time they didn't. So, I mean, that's what keeps us coming back.
For more. Yes.
And it was a great time. There was more, some new acquaintances I met. I got to see more people I've already met through all these shows. It was a great, great time.
And just spending more time with these people as we meet them, because we do meet so many people that we love, and whether that's getting to meet them for an hour in the tailgating situation or whatever. And then you get to see these people every time and build more of a relationship instead of just an acquaintance, you know? And I know that you got to do that in Texas with a few other people that maybe you haven't got to spend a lot of time with. And so it's so much fun.
I'm one of these people, I kind of sense people's energy.
Yeah.
And I haven't got to spend time with them. I don't mention names or anything, but there was a couple there. And you know how Facebook is. You see people. You see people. I'm kind of strange. I'm old. Everybody's got all these thousands of friends on Facebook. I want to meet you. I want to meet you in person.
Right.
Then we'll be friends.
Right. Right.
So anyhow, I met this couple and their energy during the show is so wonderful. And I'm happy I met them. And I hope I get to spend more time around and feel the energy. It helps this old guy make it through the show to get the energy of the good people. And there's a lot of good energy to be shared with people.
There is. It's amazing the energy that just come from the fans, and then you've got this massive energy coming from the band, and it's just like you're in a tornado of positive energy, and it's really incredible. Now, I haven't heard that people feel different than that. Like most people say the same thing, like, I feel that. I know that not everyone does. And I know that people may be listening to this that, they are just like, wow, I have just never experienced what you're experiencing. A lot of the relationship building has to do a lot with being online and having an online presence and being part of the groups that Dave Matthews Band has. There's a group for everyone, for every state. There's a singles page. There is anything you need. And that is where at least I think you as well have kind of got a base relationship with somebody like, okay, I've talked to this person a few times online. Then we step it up and we're like, hey, we got to meet, hang out for an hour. And then it just comes off that. So, one advice if I'm giving advice would be, if you don't have that kind of experience at a Dave show, really get involved on the boards, get to know some people online.
You're never alone at a Dave show.
You should not be.
You may be alone getting to a Dave show.
Mm-hmm.
You may leave alone. But if you want to meet somebody and engage with them, there are hundreds of people.
Right.
Some of these stories that I have been at the Gorge, some of my most unique. But there's been some that walking through a crowd at Alpine, going back to the buses on the horrible night of the storm, that I was walking through there and there was a lady dancing at a tailgate and we walked by and she just grabbed me and we locked arms and we went around in a circle a couple of times and went on. Mm-hmm. That's one of those memories that stick with me.
Yeah.
I never see her again.
But you know her face.
But, well, I don't know whether I do or not, unfortunately. But I remember the moment.
Yeah.
And that's wonderful.
Can we talk a little bit about Alpine? Because I know people are listening to this that were there. People are listening to this that heard about it. But I haven't talked to anybody that was actually there. Can you? And I know that was maybe a little bit of it was a very scary ordeal. I can't imagine being... Alpine is in the middle of nowhere. It is literally in the middle of nowhere. And to be at a show and have nowhere to go when there's a tornado coming and they're telling you to go back to your car when that seems like the most unsafe thing to do, you're kind of in a bind there because there is no place. There's just no place to go. What was it like being there? Like, walk us through the beginning of like when you found out there were going to be storms and how everyone was talking about it. Take us back to that.
It was like the movie The Perfect Storm. It was just a perfect scenario of tragedy and bad thing from the beginning.
Yeah.
And lots of things contributed to it. First, there was no cell phone service. So you could, as fans, and fortunately, there occasionally I could get through to a radar. And this massive storm was moving towards the venue. And they were telling people to leave. And of course, we're fans. We don't want to leave. People watch concerts in the show.
Yeah.
I mean, in the rain before.
Yeah.
And so we're not leaving. And so they finally come and we get around and we're still not leaving. They finally force us to leave. So
what are they saying? Why do you have
Well, they said there's a storm coming and things like this, but there's no signal. So the majority of the people, very few are getting through to see and checking and seeing what's coming on an accurate radar. And so then when they forced us out to leave, we all go outside to set up the tailgates.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're not all going to get out anyway.
The show's not canceled. It's just postponed.
Right.
And that's understandable.
Sure.
And then so unfortunately, finally, the front arrives and the bottom falls out of this place, water-wise.
Yeah.
And then the county sheriff, we were on buses, how I traveled there. And actually, I was on the bus. And the sheriff department forced us in this torrential downpour to start moving in the bus. Mm-hmm. Of course, they think and believe, in all sincerity, there's a tornado coming at us. And of course, then there's all these thousands of cars trying to hit this little road and funnel. And
when did you find out that there was actually a tornado headed your way?
The weather was showing tornado warning, but and you can look at a radar. Like I said, occasionally you can get a radar signal. And I live in southeastern Oklahoma. So
you know about tornadoes.
Right. So, I mean, I was concerned. I kept looking at it and this show's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So everybody do need to leave. But anyhow, we finally get to a point and we're on a bus and there's 50 of us and everybody's been partying pretty good and there's no air conditioning and the windows start steaming up and it's starting to get dark. And so the perfect storm continues to build. And so we're gathering together. They're funneling. I mean, there was 10 or 15 buses. We're trying to funnel. All the people were coming through. We're funneling down to 2 or 3 lanes, trying to get out. And we're going through there, and you can't see anything out one of these windows.
Oh my gosh.
It's, everything's loud. And anyhow, I feel a bump. I'm a retired truck driver. I notice stuff like that. I feel a bump in the street.
Yeah.
And somebody said, he hit a curb. There's no curb where we're at.
Right.
And so we're going on and this, that, and the other, and we stop. Finally, I'm, drop the windows and everyone's come in, and I look out and there's a security guard coming at us, screaming and hollering. And there's all these people. I have a hearing issue and I can't holler to understand what the guy's saying. So I turn and I actually happen to look down, and there is this young man, and he has been under the bus, and I don't know exactly where, but the bump was him, unfortunately. And he was in this rain. And so unfortunately, I thought the worst when I first looked at him. I really did. But we were fortunate. There was somebody on the bus who had medical training. And after a few moments of everybody gathering what's going on here, he goes out and some support staff show up. And I mean, I was thinking the worst the whole time. And so anyhow, then they got a cart. They moved along and all. And I mean, it was the perfect storm. And, the storm happened. We didn't want to leave. Then we had to leave when we shouldn't have left or should have already left. And then, unfortunately, the lady driving the bus who wasn't, she couldn't see. The young man, he's trying to get out of the rain. And so it just a horrible, horrible accident that happened.
Did he have family on the bus?
No. I never really got a full story. Myself and somebody who I was with, we stayed in touch with that driver a little bit, oddly enough. Before the show, we were visiting with her, and we asked, do you get to go to the show? And she said, no, I'm staying with the bus. Well, I thought she was required to stay with the bus. And then she said, I don't have a ticket.
Okay, so she doesn't get in.
Right. And so the person with me gladly gifted her a ticket.
Oh, my goodness.
Immediately.
Oh, my goodness.
And then she didn't get to because the show was rained out.
Right. So, yeah. Gosh.
But anyhow.
So where's their plans? Where are they taking you in the middle of this tornado?
We were headed back to our campground, which was the direction of which this weather front.
And this is
so it was just a situation to where they just have to evacuate the facility. There's really, like you said, no place for everyone to go, and it's just
it's thousands of people.
Well, considering the people who camp there, also.
Oh my goodness, yes.
And so it was a horrible thing. It was a perfect storm of tragedy. And I hope now the young man has recovered well. Mm-hmm. And I hope the trauma of the young lady who was a driver.
Yes.
I hope it hasn't affected her.
Yeah.
Being a retired trucker, I know of all kinds of stories who drivers are in horrible accidents that are not their fault.
Yeah.
And it affects them.
Yeah.
It really does. And
yeah. I'm sure.
Sometimes they make it deemed fault and it's not intentional.
Right.
So
right.
It was this case.
Yeah.
And, but that was an experience at Alpine. And
now I know once that happened, they did make up a day. Later on, were you able to go to the makeup?
It was a road trip for me, and it was 800 miles home, and to turn around the very next week and turn around and drive back 800 miles for one show.
Yeah.
Usually when I make those longer trips, I try to stack shows.
Yeah.
That's helped me in my show count. Not that it's really important, other than
it's not important.
I enjoy doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I got a lot of catching up to do.
Well, to catch up to who? You can never play catch up when it comes to this.
All the other people who have enjoyed these other shows.
I always just say it's definitely not a game of catch up. It's just like a personal, I want to see how many times I can do this amazing thing before I can't do this amazing thing again. Whether that's because of health or money or because the band stopped, one of those things is going to happen.
This is my 5th year.
Yeah.
I never thought that I would still be able to do it. I think I probably have another year, definitely, or 2. I'm actually doing pretty well this year. Every year, it's you're still doing pretty good on this stuff. So I'm down for it.
So do you think that you're physically and emotionally doing better now that you have 5 years of Dave in your life versus any potential thoughts and feelings? I don't know you before Dave Matthews Band. Can you see any kind of change in your life, like in positive ways or in negative ways? Like, what has this music and this community done for you?
Well, as far as the physical part, when I first started, I actually worked out pretty hard in preparation.
Yeah.
And I've not, because I endured so well, I have to admit I've been slack and haven't been doing that. So some of the physicalities is not quite as easy. Some of the shows I endure are a little more wore out in the evening, but that's okay. I'm still doing well with it. But as far as my mental state of mind, anxiety issues, things like that, being open with people, getting to know people like family, there is a very special group of people I have.
Yeah.
That I tell them all the time, and I mean it, I'd walk in front of a bullet for. I mean, that's just the kind of person I am.
Yeah.
And some things are more important than self.
Yeah.
And so, and I've learned that when we make other people a little more important, then sometimes it comes back around to us.
It does. It can.
And so it's a great thing.
Yeah. No, it's a great thing. It's changed my life, and I can't imagine not doing it anymore. But again, there will be a time where that happens. And I often wonder, what are all these Dave fans that have made it a part of their life to see the band as much as they can, to listen to the band as much as they can, to listen to XM, to watch Couch Tour every time they are playing? What is going to happen when all of this is over as we know it? What are we going to go to? What are we going to do? How are we going to see each other? I know that I've talked a lot about building support groups after, still having reasons for us to get together to celebrate the music that made us all kind of who we are.
The band may change.
Yeah, I think it'll change.
Dave's going to be making music for a long
until the day he dies. Yeah, just like he's going to be a Willie Nelson.
Exactly. And he's even said so himself. We may possibly lose the band like what we have. I just honestly don't think there's a suitable replacement for Carter. So when Carter actually decide, there's somebody who can play the drums.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe it's just me, but the drums in the band, that's what my brain is focused on. And then all the other layers of the music build in my mind. And there are very few songs of Dave Matthews' catalog that I don't like, which is one of the reasons I like them so much. But even in those songs, I listen to Carter. And my brain is just sitting there picking up every stick beat. And there's no replacing him.
He is such a treasure for this band.
But that does not mean that, Dave's going to play music. Dave and Tim's going to play music. Dave and friends are going to play music. So we've got David, as far as me and my life. Yeah. Dave's going to be there for.
Hopefully for a very long time. We don't even like talking about those things like post-show stuff, but also I think it's good to think about things before things happen so you can prepare your mind, because this has been such a big part of our mental health, such a big part. And when you lose something like that, it's highly likely that we'll go crazy.
I have something looking forward to that I'm looking forward to. The Minnesota show.
Oh, you want to talk about the Minnesota show?
The Minnesota show. I mean, how Dave Matthews is going to open a venue.
Yes.
And I'm going to be there.
To be the first band.
The first band to play at the venue. I think that's correct.
It is. So the night before Dave plays, they have an opening, right? They're inviting people to come in and see kind of like, a grand opening or whatever, or like a soft opening, if you will. And they're going to do some local type things there. But the first band is Dave Matthews Band.
I'm not an almanac guru, but is that a first?
That's a great question.
How many times has that happened? And that's kind of irrelevant in some other than just conversational interest. But I'm going to be at this one, so that's neat. I'm really looking forward to that. Dave is going to open a venue, and I'm going to be there.
And it's a beautiful venue. What is it called? My goodness, it's got a great name, Mystic Lake or Mystic River, or it's going to be mystical.
It's going to be good.
It's going to be mystical.
I'm sure being the first show, the staff and things like that, that's going to be a train wreck. But for what it is as a venue and an event to the history of the band and the music, opening it up, surely he's going to have something unique to throw at us.
We'll see.
It's going to be wonderful.
Yeah, we'll see. And I invite everyone to watch that. Wherever you can get it on the internet. Rumors are flying around. We'll see where it airs. The Space Between Podcasts knows a little bit of stuff. And so, if you can't get it anywhere else, you can always get it on Couch Tour. If there's a great internet signal, it is hard and it's not guaranteed that someone will always be able to get that perfect signal or that perfect place. And so again, even more reason to say thank you to all of the people that use all of their arm muscles to hold a phone. I don't think I could do it. I really don't.
At the Omaha show,
Yeah.
I did, I think, a 30-minute stream. I was a couple of rows behind the pit. And of course, I don't have the newest phones, Graver, or anything like that. And it worked well. And it was nice. There were some people that watched it for a while.
Yeah.
Of course, for some reason, I have a curse. I never walked into a concert with a full battery on my phone.
It's just one of those things.
Just one of those things. But anyhow, I got 30 minutes in and other people picked it up and all. But yeah, I always try. But for some reason, I never get signal. I guess I got a junk carrier or something.
Now, who knows?
But anyhow, I always try to make sure somebody's getting a stream going because I know it's that important back to the people.
It is. So many people.
There's so many. We can say first names: Suzanne, Aaron. There's just so many people that pick this up and go with that.
Yeah. Yeah. So thankful for those people because it's such medicine for a lot of people. And a lot of people are not able, whether it's physically, financially, mentally. There's a lot of reasons why people can't go to shows and maybe have never been to a show, which I'm going to say there's probably more fans that or at least a lot of fans that have never graced their presence, have never been in a building with the band and heard them live because we have live recordings and we have all of these tools now. But how cool is it that we're getting to do it on the regular? So exciting. I love the couch tour. So let's talk about going past Omaha. You decided, hey, I live in Oklahoma, but I can go anywhere because you're driving yourself, right? So when do you find it? When are you brave enough to really drive the farthest? Although I think the Gorge may be the farthest.
The Gorge, it's 2,000 miles from my front door to the gate.
One way.
Oh
my goodness.
Gorge.
Oh my goodness.
And since I went the first time, I've been every year. I rotate every time I camp out of my car. And it's just I have relatives in Denver, so it's a nice.
So you get to stop,
to catch up with them.
Yeah.
And people in Denver, there's a great pizza restaurant, Joy Hill. It's great pizza. Best thing I can do just go try one.
Go try. If you're going to Colorado this year, going to the Denver show, go try it.
Yeah, if you're no, I don't think they're right along the rail, but they're about halfway from downtown down to the Federal Green area.
Okay,
so it's real good.
Tell them the Space Between Podcasts sent them. We're gonna go. We are going before the show, probably Friday day, or Saturday day before the show. So we're excited. So that's another place you can maybe meet us and get some swag. I always have some cool stickers to pass out, and Randy does too. And of course, if there's any Dave fans in town, there's always a good time to get stickers.
Denver's a good place.
Yeah, Denver's great.
Some in some circles, Fiddlers get some grief for the venue. It's it's just as good as any. Every venue has a little quirk.
Oh yeah.
So, but I've enjoyed Fiddlers. My the first two shows I've got there, and I don't know all these stats and numbers on that stuff, but one of those two shows was something made it kind of rare in the show. Mm. It was when Dave talked about the Brady Bunch. So anyhow, everybody might remember that.
Gosh, I don't even remember that. Tell us.
Well, I can't remember the specifics.
Oh no!
But anyhow, Dave was talking about something about. I can't remember the kids in the Brady Bunch, but anyhow, he was talking about the brother and sister getting a little too close. Anyhow.
Thank God they weren't really brother and sister.
You know how Dave is.
Yes, we love Dave and his quirkiness. That's one of the things that I love so much about this band too, outside of the music, is who they are as people.
The Dave speak. It's the classic Dave speak.
Yeah, it's people are always wanting it. We don't get enough of it. And there are certain venues where you definitely get more Dave speak. Of course, Dave is definitely more vocal than ever, I think, as far as just having conversations with people and talking about his passions and his prayers. But one of the venues that you can really hear him kind of break out of his traditional Dave work is going to Mexico. Because it is just Dave and Tim, and you get 3 nights with these guys. And I know that you went for your very first time back in January. So 2026, Dave and Tim. Let's walk through that. I mean, tell me, were you ever really thinking you would go?
No, really, it didn't. I'm more of a mountain type guy. Go to the mountains or things like that, and so the beach and stuff is not that big a deal to me.
Yeah.
But I had the opportunity to come up, a special friend I wanted to spend some time with, and we decided to go, and it was fabulous. Dave and Tim was awesome. Catching a Dave and Tim show was a goal.
Yes.
And it's so hard to catch one. I knew that Mexico might be the easiest place actually to catch a Dave and Tim show. It is quite an investment. I'd never been to an all-exclusive restaurant.
I had never either.
You can't believe. I would hate to see the room service tab if
just
it was
alone
just
by
alone.
itself. Yeah.
Right. So I thought this is when you get the sticker shock of looking at Mexico. If you like room service, it's a bargain. It really is. So
you can eat
just
24 hours a day.
that. And so that reshaped my brain because there was no food expense. The staff, it tips well. Take a bunch of $1 or $2 bills.
Mm-hmm.
I like the $2 bills. That's what we took. But anyhow, it was a very special time. One of the nicest takeaways that I had from the show, I struggle with my feet sometimes on the lawn or things like that. And I try to get good shoes, especially at the Gorge and things like that. And there was one night at the show, I went in my sandals and stood there in the sand in sandals and for 3 hours at the show. And at the end of the show, my feet did not hurt at all.
It's totally different.
It was totally different.
Yeah. And what a cool experience to go from grass to sand. I mean, you've done it both, right?
And so to me, it's a welcome venue. I hadn't got to wake up in a bed and look out the window and see the sunrise between palm trees across the ocean.
Right.
Pretty nice. That's pretty nice living for.
But you are paying for it. It
Absolutely.
is, like you said, solid investment. I wish that everybody could do it at least once, but it is pricey. It is unfortunate that it is so much, but it is because of where they're taking you, because of the service that you get, because of all of the food. And I mean, you can go up to what looks like you're going to pay for everything, get like a gelato or a macaroon or something specialty item. It totally looks like you're going to pay for it. But no, you go and you get all of it for free. It's amazing. I love it. Anytime I have, and a little extra, that can go in the Dave and Tim fund. And so it's something I'm always looking forward to. I don't know if I'll go back. We never know. And it's always like I come out like at the beginning of January and go, you know what? I think I'm going to go. That's how I plan that.
It's always best to any show you can go to.
Go if you can,
Absolutely.
and make it work for you. I'll give this advice and something to think about because I do think that it was a solid way of doing it. For those of you that just look at the pricing on daveandtim.com or whatever it is when they push it out, I want the band to make so much money. Don't get me wrong, because they do so much good with their money. But hey, you got to live on a budget, right? Like you only got so much money. I'd love to save 1 million trees, but I don't have $1 million, right? So we did take a chance this year, 2026, and just bought a reservation to the venue or to the all-inclusive resort. Just the resort. Got a reservation at the resort. Like you're going with your family. You just go to booking.com or whatever you go to. We booked certain days there, which those certain days just happen to be the same days that Dave and Tim was there. Because guess what? There's a lot of people at the resort that are not there for Dave and Tim. It is the way it is. And so we definitely got there a lot cheaper. Now, here's what we didn't get because we went through booking.com. We didn't get to get into the show. We did not go. We did not have tickets to the show. Now, there's a couple of ways you can do that. I'm going to tell you how we did it. We knew, because we had been there before, that the pool, the pools there are crazy, but on the far end of one of the pool towards the actual stage, you could see the stage. You could literally see the stage from the pool. Right. And I was like,
definitely the screens.
Yo, I would be totally happy with this. And so that's what we did. We didn't get tickets to go into the show. We didn't get the bracelet that gets us in and all that. We did get a bracelet. Our bracelet's different because we are guests at the resort. So we sat in the pool. We enjoyed it. We got to watch the big screens. There were a ton of Dave fans that were sitting outside watching, and some exciting things. People that just happened to be staying there had no idea that not Dave Matthews Band, but Dave and Tim were going to be there. And we're like, holy shit, I can't believe this is happening. And they came down and watched it with us. And it was so much fun.
There was probably one of the most interesting conversations I've had with somebody my age. There was a group of people there that were my age. There were 6 of them. I think there were 3 couples. And they were not there for the show whatsoever. They were, like you were talking about, they were just there at the
resort.
At the resort.
Yeah.
And enjoying it. And they came by and started talking to us. You could hear the music. You could stay in your room and sit on your balcony and listen to
fully
the show.
Hear it. Yes.
You know, all the way across the resort and do that.
Yes.
And so, but anyhow, they were so interested in what was going on. And it was one of the most interesting, like I said, one of the most interesting conversations I've had with my age group of people, because it was about the band. Yeah. And that's kind of not typical.
Yeah. Not a typical situation.
Right. It was not, that's not a typical situation. So anyhow, I really enjoyed that. And they were there and they were having a wonderful time too.
Yeah.
So if you don't need to actually walk through the gate.
You don't.
You can still hear the music.
You can still do all the things.
Places you can see the music in various ways.
Right.
And still have a good time.
And guess what? You can still chill by the pool with all your friends. So you get to see everybody, because the concert only takes up a tiny block of your day. While the rest of your day is spent at the pool with all the Dave people, listening to Dave music, going to breakout sessions where maybe like the official DMB photographer is there. You could still go. You totally go. You're at a resort where like people are coming in and out and nobody knows what you're here for. And then, of course, unless you have fire dancers and Dave Matthews Band stuff all over you, which is funny because I remember when we were checking into the venue or to the resort, they were like, "Are you here for the concert?" And I literally said no, because I was not.
Right.
I did not have tickets to the concert.
Right.
So in me saying no, that's absolutely correct. But I was head to toe Dave Matthews Band. And so was like my entourage, right? Like we were all clearly there for Dave Matthews Band or for Dave and Tim, but didn't have tickets. And so I think that that's a common thing. I don't know if you've ever thought about it. A lot of people told me to never talk about it because it was going to be like our hidden secret. But I think it's good to know if you're thinking about things, to hear somebody that actually did it and see how it turned out. A lot of fans did that. And, we don't know what's going to happen when they like figure out what we're doing or whatever, but that venue or that resort is so big, it's always going to have other people in it, no matter what, because it's huge. Now, yes, the fans take up a good portion of that. One thing else that I experienced, and I know you bought the package through Dave and Tim, to me, and maybe that's, to me and to the people I was with, we did feel like the customer service was actually better being guests of the resort. And I know all the Dave and Tim people are guests of the resort, but you enter and exit differently. You have different armbands. You have different people taking care of you. They know that you're here as like a guest that paid to just be here and you're not here for them. So they pay a little closer attention to you because that's what you're here for.
I noticed that actually only on the check-in and check-out process because of the resort through the process of the band package. And it was a little weird. They tried to do the timeshare stuff, whereas the actual hotel, I'll say, desk.
Yes.
They did not pressure you.
No.
I did have a situation where I needed to work with guest services on something very urgent, and I was amazed at what they did. In fact, when I wrote the review for the place, I spoke of this person's name who helped me.
Yeah.
Particularly. And it was a very unusual situation, and they were fabulous.
They came through for you.
It came through for us. And I was very grateful.
They bent over backwards to make sure you were happy.
They went above and beyond what they needed to do to take care of me.
Yes. The customer service is there.
And so, yes.
And that's another thing that costs money, right? Like the better care and attention you get, it does unfortunately cost more. And that's just where we are in 2026.
They got some unique looking different little animals that we don't typically see
Oh my
too.
gosh,
So it was almost like being in a little zoo around us.
it felt like we were kind of in the jungle a couple of times having, I don't know what they were, some kind of animals running around with long tails and look like monkeys, but are clearly not monkeys. It was beautiful. I mean, but you're in a different country, to be expected, right?
But see an alligator though. That would have been nice.
No, I don't want to see any alligators. I want to be safe. And that's one more thing. And then we'll stop talking about Dave and Tim, but the safeness, people often get worried about traveling outside of the country. And that it is scary sometimes, right? Depending on where you're going. But because of the way that the resort is set up, the resort, you have all this check-in. And believe me, their check-in is from the moment before you even get in the gates. They go through a real check to make sure your name is on the list. And I mean, there's all kinds of checking. They will not let anyone in that is not on the list.
Well, as far as the Dave and Tim pay, that starts at the airport.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
They get you on a particular bus.
Yeah.
And that bus is going straight to the resort.
Yes.
There's no deviations from it or anything like that. I don't know if that's the case, if it's one of the different packages, but if you're on the day, we're going to put you on a bus and you're there.
Yeah. If you book through Dave and Tim, that's a service for free, is that the shuttle will pick you up and get you through the gates and everything's going to be a lot easier. And they'll take you back after. Yeah. But, like I said, before you get into the gates, there's major checks. And then the gate to the resort, gosh, it'd have to be a couple miles back. I mean, no, it'd be really hard to break in there and it'd be really hard. So we just felt so safe, so safe, which was very nice to be able to let your guard down and do the things that we love, right? See the people we love, feel comfortable enough to maybe handle the all-you-can-drink alcohol a little bit. That's included. So I'm not a drinker. I'm not. It's not because I don't believe in it or anything. It just doesn't treat my body well. And so, but I will have at least one or two strawberry daiquiris because they're like a treat to me. They taste yummy and girly and beachy to me. So I can get one or two drinks in those days and I feel fine. Or if you want to get 250 drinks you can absolutely do that too. You can get your money's worth if you can handle it, right?
and I'm like you. I don't drink a lot.
Yeah.
A little goes a long way with me.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy them.
Gosh, the margaritas, everything, like all the girl drinks. I just love them is what I call them, the girly drinks. But I guess that's really what the guys call them.
The room service?
Yeah. Well, tell more.
The room service? Oh my gosh.
That's free.
After the shows, you're thinking, oh, this will take forever. And after the shows, you hit the phone and within 30 minutes, they brought a buffet.
Yeah. Whatever you order. And we ordered everything. I literally several times after show was just I need a cheeseburger and a piece of pizza and some French fries. And I need all the desserts. No, not just one. All of the desserts. It was so much fun. And there was no food wasted.
And the pizza was great.
It was.
The pizza was great and the desserts.
24 hours a day, yo. It was awesome. You just order it from your phone. They have a really cool app. Yeah. Everything is just really seamless, very thought out, and a once in a lifetime thing that I hope a lot of fans get to do. So we are a little over an hour.
Really?
Can you believe that? Yeah. I want you to tell a little bit because this is something that I hear a lot. I don't have a story, or I'm a introvert, or this is scary getting in front of a camera and exposing my feelings and thoughts to everyone else. I understand that. It is. I feel like that was kind of what I was going into, approaching Randy. Like I said, he was going to be the fifth, and then he was like, oh, no, I can't do this because of YouTube side of it. And so now he's episode 207. If someone were thinking about, I'd really love to do that, can you give them any words? Because we're almost done, Randy. How has it gone? How did it make you feel? Was it hard to do this? What are your thoughts to give someone advice?
Well, people with my nature, the thought of doing it was probably worse than doing it.
Well, I don't know. Was it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
The thought of doing it was worse than doing it.
Yes.
And after a few moments, I just kind of forgot this camera that I'm not even looking at.
That's right.
Now was there.
Yeah.
And we just kind of continued on. We maybe a little directed points in our conversation.
Sure.
But conversations like you and I have anyhow.
Right.
And the fact that Renae already knows me is probably irrelevant in that. She's just that kind of person, that kind of host. So if you have any reservations or anything like that, don't let that inhibit you, because she takes this seriously. There's a purpose behind her journey in doing this, and she's holding true to it. And she'll do whatever it takes to make anybody feel comfortable, accommodate you.
Yeah.
And you sharing your story or getting some sort of feeling you need to address out, because we all have something in our lives that we're dealing with.
Everybody.
And we don't wish those other things on everybody, but sometimes knowing we're not alone in it helps.
It does.
Whatever the
does.
story is, whether it be joy or grief or pain or just the love of a music,
Mm-hmm.
To know that there's other people who can share that.
Yeah.
That you can share your energy with, that you can draw on their energy. It's a great thing.
It is.
And, there's a handful of people. There's a couple of handfuls of people that I've met I want to spend more time with. We mentioned Nikki Flynn earlier.
Yes.
I met Nikki my first night in Denver. And Nikki and I have a very unique type of little relationship. We really don't even know each other.
No, I mean, yeah.
But I see her at a show, she gives me a hug. And there's a couple other little things that she takes care of for me. But this year at the Houston show, now 4 or 5 years later, I got to sit down and have a nice conversation with Miss Vicky, and it was one of the highlights of the show.
Yeah.
So even these people that you have these brief interchanges with, as we keep moving forwards in this, there's going to be a time where you get to know them a little better.
Yeah. If you want to.
If you want
to.
Exactly.
This is what you make it, right?
Exactly.
Or what you try to make it. You don't have to be connected with every fan. You don't have to do anything. Make it what makes you happy. I think that's the important part. This is the side of life that is supposed to help you with being happier than you are, or just it's supposed to be a positive light in your life. And there's just so many stories of how this music, in particularly Dave Matthews Band, because that's my favorite band, of course. So I started a podcast about it. Imagine that. But it's supposed to be something positive. And I love hearing these stories that maybe are tragic and really hard to get through, but how this music has continued on in their life, even after heartache, even after tragedy, even after, all of these things that life holds for us. And it was the one constant for them, and so the power of music, it's a thing that I love to talk about. I believe that it truly is it is, no matter what anything says, no matter what AI says. I don't care who says it. I will fight forever to prove that music is a form of therapy, and it actually can do us so much good. It's not for everyone. It's not everyone's medicine, but a lot of us, it is, and it actually changes processes in your brain. And so what an amazing thing to get to talk about, and how cool that I'm on this side of nursing, right? Like stepped away from that kind of nursing. And now there's another way to help people and another way to talk to people about healthy things that we can do.
You went from nursing to nurturing.
From nursing
what you
to
offer
nurturing.
This fan base is nurturing and offers us an outlet to share.
I think it's such a natural flow from me to go from something that I loved so much, but after going through COVID was really extremely hard. One of the hardest parts of my life. And it's really cool to get to still help, people in a small way. And so it is about something that I love. So guys, if you're listening to this, it really has not been that bad for Randy. He said it was easier than the thought of it. So here's what I want to challenge you to. If you're even thinking slightly about, hey, I'd kind of like to do this, send me an email. The email will show up on the screen right now, but it's also in the show notes like I talked about earlier. Just send me an email and go, hey, this really interests me. I don't know that I can do it right now, but could we do it in a few months? And I will book you for a few months out, let you get to thinking about it, get you to watching a few episodes, kind of see how I do. Everyone's different, right? So this is your story. I do let you kind of guide and how the conversation is going to go, what we're going to talk about. There are no preset questions. And I think a lot of people are worried about that. Like, can you send me a list of questions that so you can be prepared? You're already prepared. You know everything that we're going to talk about. And so I invite you to send me an email. Again, that email is in the show notes, but it's also on the screen right now. Send me an email. We'll get you on the books to record your own episode. It'll just be a one-on-one. So super easy. We take that time to make sure that you're comfortable. And then boom, it goes on air and on YouTube for everyone to share. And I know that you're a listener. Thank you. A watcher of this podcast. And what has this podcast done for you? Like, is there anything you've watched or seen or heard or was able to just identify with from the people that you have listened to that have done their episode already?
I mean, that's a wide ranging question.
Yeah.
There's been, the stories of the show.
Yeah.
But there's stories of people's personal tragedies, personal losses,
Yeah.
personal abuses.
Yeah.
And just illnesses that people went through.
Mm-hmm.
And they come on here and then tie that to their story of following the music and the community of the band. And that's one of the things that have helped me, because there are things that people have shared with you that there's no way in the world I could do it. And I commend them so much.
So brave.
And I hope it really helps them. I think sometimes just people talking.
Yeah. Just being heard.
Just being heard.
Yeah.
Good point. Good way to put it. Being heard is a huge thing.
Yeah.
A great gift.
It is.
Thank you for doing
Thanks
this.
for finally doing this, Randy. It only took 190 something episodes to get you to do this. I had to prove myself. He was like, let me see how long she's going to do this. And then maybe if it's successful, I'm picking on you. But I'm so excited. You just happen to be here. Randy's been helping us do so many things around the house because he's good at so many things. He can do anything you could think of. He's at, what do you say?
I don't know.
What is it? As like a jack of trade?
A jack of all trades, a master.
Yeah,
But sometimes the master of none is better than the master of one.
That's right. So we're so excited I'm so excited that you're on this show. I know a lot of people, because you've been hanging out with me and Justin a little bit in traveling, and they're like, who is this guy that keeps following the Lipsmeyers? And so now you know it's Randy Weston. He doesn't live far from us. He's part of our family now. And so I hope that next time you see him, you'll come up to him and say, hey, Randy, man, I heard your story. Thanks for doing it. Now I kind of know a little bit more about you. Where that accent comes from is southeastern Oklahoma. I'm in Northwest Arkansas, but I'm from Texas. So my accent is a little different than, say, Justin's accent, a little bit different. But that's one of the things I've loved about this show is people literally all over the world, I can say that now, have come on the show, and all of the accents. I love it. I love it so much because, you live in your city where everyone kind of sounds the same in a way, and then to hear somebody sound completely different. Accents are a thing for me. I like it. It's pretty cool to hear. But guys, again, I encourage you to be on the show. If you have no desire to be on the show, here's something else that you can do to help me. Tell somebody about it. We all have got Dave friends, and be like, hey man, have you ever heard of the Space Between podcast? It's literally about you and you and you. Anyone that's listening or watching, this is about you, the fans of the band, which is 50% of the story of this band. So I'd love for you to come on. I'd love for you to follow the show on all of the socials. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, one of the biggest things you can do for me is to hit that subscribe button. It's right underneath what you are watching. Give it a thumbs up, comment, do all of those things that you're like, what do I say in a comment? Just say great job or terrible. Don't say terrible. Don't say that. No, but comment, because what that does is help push it out to other people in their algorithms that may like Dave Matthews Band. And that's how all of this grows. Even with the podcast, if you're listening to this on any app that you get your podcast on, by leaving a review, by simply just leaving a tiny review that maybe just says 2 words, that helps push it out to people that may also love Dave Matthews Band. I had someone email me the other day that said they found my podcast because the podcasting app suggested it because they were listening to another Dave podcast, and it said, hey, if you're listening to this one, you might like this one. And so mine came up. And so that's definitely how you're going to get, if you're not aware of the other Dave podcasts, they are all completely different, but about the same thing, which is our favorite band, Dave Matthews Band. And so guys, keep following the show. You never know when the next one's going to come out. It's always a surprise, but just be looking for it to come out every week during concert season, because there is so much to say. So guys, until the next time, peace, love, and Dave Matthews Band.
living